Okay, I've measured off my rows. I'm putting them 4 foot apart. I normally only do 3, but I don't want to do a whole lot of hoeing, so I made room for my tiller to go through and still have enough room to be able to hoe and hill up next to my beans. There's 1 trench, and there's 2, and this is the way I mark them off. I just take a T-post, mark it at one end, run a string to the other, mark it down there, pull the string, and then I'll hoe up under the string, and I've got a relatively straight row. So what I'm going to do now, since I've got this dug a little bit deep for English peas, is I'm going to put a little fertilizer in the bottom, cover it up, and then I'll plant. And I'll show you that just as soon as I get these chickens away from my fertilizer and get it spread. So see you in a minute. Alright, so you can see I've got just a little bit of fertilizer down the row. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one side of dirt and cover it up with the hoe, an inch or so. Then I'm going to plant my seeds on top of that so they're not in direct contact with the fertilizer and their roots get burned. And this other side is going to be what covers the seeds up. So let me get the fertilizer covered up and then we'll get back to planting the seeds. Alright, there's the peas. I've been fighting the chickens off of them. Turn you around this way. I've got them planted every 3 to 4 inches apart. So that way I'll get a good stand and hopefully not have to replant. Let me throw a clod of dirt at that chicken. Get out of there! They listen about as well as my parents do. Now it's time for me to come and cover these things. Stop it, go, get. Time for me to cover these things up before I don't have any. And if you can see, the rows aren't exactly straight, but it'll be all right. And with this 4 foot row spacing, I'm planning on trellising these across this way. That way it'll shade out this area and reduce the weeds down. In between other rows, I'll probably do things like summer squash, you know, big leaf plants that I can get away with planting every 3 or 4 foot apart and shade out even more ground. And hopefully that'll keep me from having to work quite so hard with weeding. But give me a few minutes to cover these up and we'll take another peek. All right, all covered up. I've got about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch depending on how much dirt I had available and how good my eyesight was at the time, trying to watch these chickens try to steal my seeds. So I know some of you are going to be saying, putting that fertilizer at the bottom is really going to burn their roots whenever they get down that far. Well, for one, there's 1 inch of fertilizer, and for 2, this ground is so wet that it still bogs my tiller down. So by tomorrow morning, that fertilizer will have already dissolved and just be waiting in the soil for the roots to get there. And hopefully it gets there fast enough before a heavy enough rain comes in and washes it all away. So now that I've got my planting done for today and I've got a little bit of extra fertilizing done, it's time for me to go pick my pitiful broccoli, pull those stalks up and feed them to the goats as a nice little treat for not eating all of my camellia bush, just the bottom half with the blooms. I don't think you can see it from here, but they've stripped the bottom half. But then again, I can't complain. I mean, it's not good for them. It is part of the rhododendron family, I believe. I'm not really sure on that. I have to double check. But I don't have to prune at the bottom. They did that for me. Anyway, Well, I'm looking rough today, like I've actually done some work. Old man hair turning white, which I just tell people whenever I was a kid, my hair was as white as a sheet of notebook paper. I'm just getting younger. I'm not getting gray-headed. I'm getting younger. I'm reverting back to my childhood, going back to white hair, like I was when I was 5. But thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Morgan with Agape Farms. As always, God loves you. So do I. And if you like what you see, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and please, by all means, hit the like button. It does so much for all of us small guys to get our videos promoted and bring us up in the analytics so that we're promoted even more and we have a chance to actually succeed and maybe make enough money to buy a hamburger or a Coke. You know, we know we're not going to get rich, but we do this because not only is it fun, but it's educational for people who want to learn how to do things and just don't have the skills or were never taught. So it's a learning experience for all of us. I mean, I get to learn how to do videos that I'm still not very good at, and somebody else gets to learn some knowledge about gardening that I'm able to give them, and hopefully it works for them. And if not, then they've got a basic idea of how to go about doing it, and they can change it to fit their needs and actually become successful and have a decent crop of their own that they know exactly what's in it besides what the grocery store says on the can, because you can't always believe what's on the can. Anyway, until next time, guys, just remember, there's no better place on Sunday morning to be than the church of your choice, giving praise and thanks to the good Lord above for the blessings that we don't deserve. And as always, this is Morgan with Agape Farms. Until next time.